First American Pope. After 266 popes, we finally have the first North American. It wasn't the Vatican. It wasn't the cardinals. It wasn't tradition. The one who chose this pope was the Holy Spirit himself, and when he acts, even the most skeptical fall silent. Because there's no denying it, this choice breaks patterns, shatters expectations, and confirms what many already felt deep inside, that God keeps writing history with lines that logic can't understand. A pope from the United States, in a time like this? It can only be an answer to prayer, and also to a calling. This election isn't political. It's prophetic. It's as if heaven whispered something that the world is still trying to decipher. And when the Spirit moves, he doesn't just rearrange hierarchies, he realigns hearts, shifts the focus of the church, and awakens those who were asleep. Do you really think it's a coincidence that this is happening now, at a time when the world is crying out for truth, coherence, and healing? Of course not. There's a hidden calling in this choice, and it might have more to do with your own life than you realize. What is God trying to tell us through this new pope? And what might heaven be about to do through this new leadership? Stay with me, because maybe, in the midst of this grand story, you'll find the spark you need to reignite your own faith. It's curious how, in its frantic rush, the world still manages to stop for certain events. The selection of a new pope is one of those rare moments when the entire planet seems to hold its breath at the same time. Whether in St. Peter's Square or at a diner in Chicago, all eyes turn towards the Sistine Chapel chimney, looking for that little puff of white smoke that carries more than tradition. It carries news that crosses continents and pierces through cultures. It's not just about religion. It's about symbolic power. When the Vatican bells ring out to announce a new pontiff, what you see is a phenomenon of global communication, of silent diplomacy, and of influence that goes beyond the altar. It's as if the earth, so divided by ideological rifts, finds, for a few moments, a common ground. And that, my friend, is no small thing nowadays, when even an emoji can start a debate. Now, let's be honest, it's impossible to ignore what this choice represents behind the scenes. It's not born out of chance, nor is it just a spiritual decision. It's like a chess piece being moved with millimetric precision on a board with centuries of history. And if you really pay attention, you'll realize the true impact of this choice happens not only inside the church, but sends ripples through markets, governments, and mindsets. But the real surprise was yet to come. When the name of the new pope echoed through the loudspeakers in St. Peter's Square, there was a moment of silence. The kind of silence that only happens when the world experiences an elegant shock. An American pope? Of all places, from the United States? It wasn't just unexpected, it was almost unheard of. It took a while for everyone to process it. After all, for centuries, North America seemed to be on the sidelines of this conversation, like someone watching an important game through the window. Until suddenly it became the main character. Was this action by the College of Cardinals more than symbolic? Was it strategic? America, with its glaring contrasts, between rural conservatism and urban progressivism, between Wall Street and indigenous communities, was now offering its accent and its history to the religious world. This changes everything. Not just within the Roman Curia, but in the way the Catholic faith repositions itself on the global stage. It's as if the Vatican has updated its software, keeping tradition, but changing the interface. Think about it. Placing an American pope on Peter's throne is like choosing a new CEO for a 2,000-year-old company, someone who understands spreadsheets as well as prayers. It's not just about faith, it's about diplomacy, media influence, technology, and economics. And now, more than ever, whoever holds the microphone also holds the map. But before anything else, who is this man who, so unexpectedly, has climbed to the heights of the world's most influential spiritual power? He wasn't the favorite, or the most charismatic, and apparently he didn't care to be. The new pope arrived without fanfare, like someone quietly entering a crowded room, but within a few days his presence was already felt, sweet and weighty, the kind of presence that can't be explained with words, only with actions. The kind of leadership that doesn't shout, but resonates. He didn't need fiery speeches to earn respect. He simply listened attentively and looked deeply. His journey spoke louder than any resume. A true shepherd, the kind who knows worn-down streets, the harsh realities of the outskirts, and the quiet of hospital rooms. Someone who understands faith as service, not as a pedestal. In times when noise attracts more spotlight than wisdom, he chose the path of listening. His communication? Subtle, but precise. Without forcing it, he stood out. Kind of like that friend who rarely speaks, but when he does, everyone goes quiet. And there's something captivating about that, an authority that comes from consistency, not from appearances. In the business world, this kind of leadership is gold, and rare. It's the boss who knows the doorman's name, the CEO who washes his own mug, the teacher who learns from the student. And when that shows up in the church, the impact is profound. But he didn't stop there. When he chose the name he would carry for the years to come, he gave the first clue about what he might really be here to do. When the new pope announced that he would be called Leo XIV, people exchanged glances with that look of, "There's something going on here." And there really was. The choice wasn't random, nor was it traditional. To evoke the name, Leo, is to call to mind historical figures who were remarkable examples of popes, strategists, and statesmen. Leo XIII, for example, was a pioneer in engaging with the modern world, giving dignity to workers when that was still a rare thing. Now the new Leo, by adding 14, seems to be saying, "We're ready for yet another turning point." That name carries the weight of a restrained roar. It's as if he's saying between the lines that he didn't come to please the crowd, but to realign the course. And honestly, that's intimidating. A lot of people were expecting a gentle name, something pastoral, maybe even a bit poetic. But Leo? That's the name of someone who came to face whatever's necessary, not with a sword in hand, but with the power only those who truly understand the times possess. It's a name that stirs the collective subconscious and raises the question, are we really prepared for a pope who not only cares, but also confronts? It's interesting how a simple name can become a manifesto. Think about this in your own life. The name you carry on social media, in your projects, in your emails, what does it communicate? Who do you say you are in the way you present yourself to the world? The choice of Leo XIV wasn't about him. It was about the world. And more than that, it was about the kind of future he intends to build. But the real influence of someone isn't in the name they choose, but in the impact they make. And that's where things get delicate. To lead is a beautiful word, but a heavy one. Few people realize how much it carries, not fame, but burden. When the new American Pope accepted the call, he didn't just put a ring on his finger. He placed on his shoulders the symbolic weight of billions of eyes. And that applies to anyone in a position of influence, whether it's a team leader, a parent, or even a content creator. Every choice becomes a reference. And like it or not, someone is always watching you. What's curious is that the greatest power of leadership isn't in a loud voice, but in the silent example. Think of someone who truly inspired you. It probably wasn't the person who shouted the most, but the one who practiced what they preached. With his simple manner and bold name, the new pope makes it clear that personal responsibility is the foundation of true influence. Deep down, the world doesn't need more brilliant leaders. It needs more consistent leaders. And that, my friend, starts with the details, paying what you promise, listening before judging, keeping your word even when no one is watching. And here's a challenge for you. How are you leading your own life? Because yes, you are a leader of your story, your decisions, your impact on the world. There are people waiting for you to take action so they'll feel empowered to act too. And maybe, just maybe, what you do in the next few weeks will shape much more than your daily routine. It will shape your legacy. Pope Leo XIV may have taken the most symbolic seat on earth, but each of us, in our own way, also has a throne to occupy. And now that you've seen all this, tell me, what are you going to do with this awareness? Will you just admire from afar, or will you allow yourself to be part of the transformation that the Holy Spirit is working in the world? Because, let's be honest, the leadership that the new Pope embodies isn't a pedestal, it's an invitation. An invitation to live with more purpose, to not run away from your mission, to understand that even a choice made thousands of miles away can echo within your own heart. The truth is that God still calls ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And if He raised up an American Pope at this time, who's to say He doesn't want to raise you up too? Maybe your altar isn't in the basilica, but in the office, at home, on social media, in the classroom, or out on the street. The Spirit still anoints leaders, and sometimes they're afraid, full of doubts, waiting for a sign, and maybe this is it. So, what will you do now? Will you let this insight pass by, or will you put it into action? Share with me in the comments, what impacted you the most on this journey? What step are you going to take from today forward? And if you want to keep diving into topics that connect faith, action, and purpose, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay close. Because what's coming next is for those who have the courage to listen and obey.